Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of the conversation series with OCN. And today we'll be talking about personal responsibility, also known as ownership. You see, personal responsibility is your willingness, my willingness to accept responsibility for my choices, for my actions, for my attitudes, and for my outcomes. It means that I recognize that while I may not be able to control every circumstance, I am always responsible for how I respond to those circumstances. Ownership is one of the defining qualities of exceptional leaders. It actually shifts the person from being a passive participant in their own life to being an active creator of results. I remember a quote from one of John Maxwell's book. It says, "The greatest day in your life, the greatest day in my life, is when we take total responsibility for our attitudes." Now, what is personal responsibility? It simply means owning your decisions without making excuses. It means accepting accountability for success and failure. Not just success alone, no. Success and failure. It means focusing on solutions rather than blame. Is she that did it? Is he that did it? Is the water was not there? Is them that went there? Personal responsibility means following through on your commitment. If you say you will do something, you will do it. It means learning from mistakes instead of denying them. It means taking initiative without being told to. So when you have personal responsibility, when you take personal responsibility, you want to know, what part did I play? What can I learn from this? What action can I take now? Now, I must tell you that when you take blame for things that are completely outside your control, that's not personal responsibility, no. When you carry the failures of everyone around you, that's not personal responsibility. When you ignore systemic challenges, fuel, you're not the cause of hiking fuel. You're not the cause of loss in the value of your currency. That's not personal responsibility. When you refuse to ask for help, that is not personal responsibility. Healthy personal responsibility recognizes the difference between what you can influence and what you cannot. And that's why there's this thing called the circle of control. And it's in 3 circles. There's a circle of control, the things that are within your own control. Then there's a circle of the things you can influence. And then there's a circle where you can barely do anything about that. The question is, where would your focus be? Where would your focus be? Because in the circle of control, your attitudes is what you can control. Your efforts, you can control. Your habits, you can control. Your preparation, you can control. Your responses, you can control. Your integrity, you can control. But anything outside of that, you cannot control. You can control your influence. Yes. How you influence relationships, how you influence team culture, how you influence negotiations, how you influence the people around you, your environment, your family. Those are the things that are within your control. How you show up. But you see the economy of your country. I almost want to call it a, but any country, actually, you cannot. It's not something you're going to blame yourself for. No. Other people's decision. I like there's this lady I follow on social media. Once she's done with her video, she will say, "Do with it as you please." You cannot, I cannot, I can. What I'm saying is what I'm saying. What you hear, you are responsible for what you hear. You are responsible for how you interpret what I say. Right? So whatever decisions you make as an offshoot of what I have said, I am not responsible for it. I'm not responsible for the way politicians behave in my country. I will never be. I am not responsible for earthquake. I'm not responsible for rainfall. But I will make sure that I arrive at the venue. I'll leave my house on time. I'll do what I need to do. Right. So I have an event by maybe 5 p.m. I will do all that is within my power, knowing fully well that I stay in Lagos and that the road is unpredictable. Even though where I'm going is a distance of, say, 25, 30 minutes, I'm going to have to leave my house by around 3 or 3:30. So that give or take 4:30, 4:45, at all, 4:59, I am at the venue on time. Why? Because I don't know what will happen. I can't vouch for the road. I can't use lateness as an excuse for showing up late. I can't use traffic rather as an excuse for showing up late. So if you're going to be an effective leader, you must know and understand what is you can control, what you can influence, and then decide not to be consumed by what you cannot control or influence. Too many times what holds people back is because they are focused on what they cannot, they are consumed by what they cannot control, what they cannot influence. Now, how can I know if I'm demonstrating personal responsibility in my life? How can you know? Number one, my ability to take initiative. I'm not waiting for perfect conditions. I'm not waiting for someone else's permission. Once I see a problem, I begin to look for solution. There's something that my dad used to say when we were growing up, is that if you finish it, so we had this roster for washing plates, right? And maybe the person that's washing plate that day has finished washing the plates. They've gone off. Okay. And then for some reason, I come to the sink and, it's not my turn, but I've eaten. I wash my plate and go. If I see another plate there, maybe 1, 2, 3 plates, I wash them at once. No, it's not me that kept it there. Let the person that's coming and wash it come and wash. It's their turn. Another example. There's dirt on the floor. There's dirt on the table. What's the property to do is clean it. Why are you, who get this thing here? Who poured this water here? Before you know that you are arguing, you're going back and forth. Ability to take initiative. That's a sign of personal responsibility. And so instead of saying someone should fix this, you ask, what can I do to improve this situation? Remember, of things that are within your control. For instance, you want to vote, right? You want to participate, be a good citizen. There are situations in your country you cannot solve, but there's a role you can play. There's something you can control. You can get your PVC. You can cast your vote. Whatever happens after casting your vote is not within your control. It's not something you want to consume yourself with. The problem is we are too consumed with the aftermath of, we have played our role, but we also want to know how other people will play their role. Sadly, you cannot control that. You can't do anything. It is better not to be consumed by it. Another characteristics of people who exercise their personal responsibilities, they keep their commitments. You see, this keeping commitments is something that I'll keep hammering on, right? And it's something I am learning hardly. I'm learning it by force now. Is that so? For instance, you sign up you see a conference, you sign up for a conference, you decide to attend this conference, and then you get to this conference, it's so impactful, you take down notes, you take down action points, and then you come back and you do nothing. You take no action, even though you have action points. You are unable to keep a commitment with yourself. You see, people can only trust you when you consistently do what you say you will do. You can only trust yourself when you know that you will show up when you need to show up. And so personal responsibility means honoring your deadlines. It means fulfilling the promise you have kept, you have told yourself. It means when you are leading people, communicating early when obstacles arise, keeping your commitments. Another characteristic is that people who exercise personal responsibility learn from mistakes. You learn from mistakes, not looking for who to shame or looking for who to blame. Mistakes should be treated as opportunities for growth, other than reasons for shame. What happened? What did I miss? What can I do differently next time? I was telling somebody, I said, some people can be 52 years old, but in the school of life, they are still in primary 1. You know why? They are making mistakes in class and they are not learning from the mistakes. And somebody can be 35-year-old and already be in SS1 of the school of life. Why? They are learning from their mistakes every day, correcting themselves and advancing higher. So instead of looking for who to blame, instead of pointing fingers, instead of all of those things, and need I tell you, maybe I'll do a different video for that. There is actually a reason why you cannot take personal responsibility. There's a reason. But this video is just to tell you about personal responsibility, right? The next thing is avoid the blame game drama. People who are personally responsible, they avoid that blame game drama. Just like the previous point of taking, learning from mistake. Blaming prevents you from learning. No, you cannot learn from your mistake if you are blaming everybody. It's your father's brother, it's your mother's sister, it's your grandparents' parents, it's your brother, it's your leaders who take ownership. They seek understanding before assigning faults. You want to understand what happened. You want to understand the role you played. The next point is feedback. A lot of people cannot take feedback, and I'm talking constructive feedback. Feedback that should be viewed as valuable information that helps you improve your performance. That helps you improve your performance. That is how you should see feedback, not as personal attack. Nobody is after your life. What if I'm after your life? What will I use your life and do? I give you feedback for you to be a better person. I mean, sometimes people not say, it's how they said it. Sometimes you have to drop that how they said it. Just pick the message and fly with it. And fly with it. The sad reality of things is that many people unintentionally avoid responsibility through these habits. Making excuses, blaming others, procrastinating. I will do it tomorrow. I will do it in 1 hour time. I will do it next week. Complaining without acting. There was a time in my life when I said, you know what? If I can do something about this, and I will not complain. If I can't do anything about it, I will not complain. Because at the end of the day, if I complain, what will happen? Nothing. Nothing will happen if I complain. I can't do anything. I can't solve the problem. I can't be a solution to the problem. And so one of my mantras today is, I am a part of the solution. I am not a problem. I'm not part of the problem. I'm the part of the solution. I provide solution. I'm a solution bearer. Wherever I step into and I see problems, I solve those problems. Another issue people have is they are waiting for motivation before taking action. I spoke with an old friend sometime during the week, and I said, you are waiting for who will ginger you. How long will you wait? Me, I'm trying to ginger myself and be going. You are waiting for me to come and ginger. You will wait, though. You will wait. Another issue is when people assume that someone else will solve their problem. For God's sake, everybody has their problem. Why do you sit down? I don't want to talk about entitlement mentality. Why do you sit down and think that somebody else will come and solve your own problem for you? Why? These are the behaviors that reduce your personal effectiveness because you are placing control outside yourself. You see everything that is, I'm not in charge. Before you know, you are feeling helpless. You are not helpless in Jesus' name. Now, how do you shift this mindset? Because if you are not taking personal responsibility, it means you're seeing yourself as a victim of your life. How can you be a victim of your life? A victim mindset will say, there's nothing I can do. It's their fault. What can I do now? I don't try. Life is unfair. I will act when circumstances improve. Oh, really? The more you say these things, the more you will never take any action. But when you have a mindset of ownership, your questions become, what can I do with what I have? What is my responsibility here and now? What can I learn from this thing that is going on in this season of my life? What can I learn? What action can I take today? What one action? Action. You see, the difference lies not in denying reality, but in choosing a response that creates progress. What did I say? The difference lies not in denying reality, but in choosing a response that creates progress. Your choice, your response is in your hand. And the response you choose will determine if you make progress or not. Now, what are some of the practical ways you can build ownership? Number one, pause before reacting. When challenges arise, when there is an issue, when there is a failure or whatever, avoid immediate defensiveness. Listen, ask yourself, what role did I play? What role did I play? What response will move this situation forward? Be solution oriented. Be solution focused, not problem oriented, not blame oriented. Number 2, replace your excuses with action. Whenever you hear yourself explaining why something cannot be done, ask yourself, what is one step? What is one step that I can take today? Action, action, action. I did a video and I said you are betraying yourself for every action you refuse to take. For every step you refuse to take, you are betraying yourself. You are your first betrayer. You are your first betrayer. Number 3, keep promises to yourself. Personal credibility begins with self-discipline. Small commitments here, consistently kept, it builds confidence and trust. Number 4, you must consistently, regularly do reviews. Look at your life. Every week, every day. What went well today? Where did I avoid responsibility today? What could I have done better today? What can I improve on next time? How did I respond today? What situations did I encounter today? What thoughts crossed my mind? What things did I need to do today that I didn't do? Review. But you see, these things are easier said than done. I tell you, they're easier said than done because we would rather be scrolling. We would rather be scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on wherever it is that you scroll. Watching movies endlessly. And engaging in unprofitable conversations endlessly than sitting back to actually audit our lives. How did we get here? How did we get here? I had mentioned feedback before. That's a way you can use to build yourself. You can build your ownership, become personally responsible, intentionally seek feedback. Ask your trusted colleagues, ask mentors. For those of you that have mentors, if you don't have mentors, why? Ask your friends to identify your blind spots. Because listening without becoming defensive strengthens your self-awareness and growth. Listening without being defensive strengthens your wellness and your growth. So today, the question is, when you are faced with setbacks, what do you do first? Do you first look outward for explanations, or do you look inward for opportunities to improve? Which excuse do you find yourself repeating over and over and over again? Sometimes it's that you're even making excuses for certain people because you are afraid of cutting them from your life. Which excuse do you find yourself making, repeating most often? Where in your life are you waiting for someone else to act? You outsource your life to another person to make decisions on your behalf so that when something happens, you can blame them. You see, sometimes the things we run to people asking for advice. It's not that we want advice. We want them to tell us so that when something happens, we say, is this person that told me now? That's why you are running for that advice. Use your full chest, own your decisions, make your decisions. Those commitments you've made to yourself, I will do this, I will do that, I will do that. You need to start honoring them. You need to start honoring those decisions. And on that note, I want to end with this, and it's a challenge. It's something I want you to do now. I want you to reflect back, right? Reflect at your life. Find a situation, something that has happened, and ask yourself, what happened? This situation that turned out like this, what actually happened? What factors were outside of my control? What factors were within my control? What choices did I make? It could, whatever it is, Whatever it is, what could I have done differently? What lesson can I apply in the future? Because if you don't learn your lessons today, problem they tie wrapper in different ways. Yes. It will wear another wrapper tomorrow. It will wear another cloth tomorrow. Because you have not sat down and been able to identify the role you are playing. You've not identified what you can do differently. You've not learned your lesson. You've not learned your lesson. Personal responsibility is the bridge between intention and impact. And so leaders who consistently ask, what is my responsibility? What action can I take? They are able to cultivate trust. They are able to cultivate resilience. They are able to build influence. So today I challenge you, stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Act wisely within the circumstances you have. That way, you can inspire others to do the same. And on that note, I want to say thank you for watching and joining us. Please do like, follow, subscribe. All those things that people do at the end, please do them. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.